I just was not impressed. I felt like there was a lot of lost potential. I'm sorry, are we in the 21st century or are we in a fantasy world? Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Katerina, or Kat if you're new here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the 7 books that I read in the month of November. Now, November really wasn't a really great reading month for me. I just really wasn't impressed with anything that I read. Everything was either between a 3 or a 4 star, and nothing really wowed me. So with that, the first book that I read in the month of November was Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I ended up giving this one a 4 star. This series is addictive. If you haven't read Jennifer Lynn Barnes' The Natural series and you're really wanting a quick, fast-paced, little bit of a thriller series, I definitely recommend. However, so in this particular book, we obviously are following our main set of characters, and there's kind of like multiple plot lines going on. You have this very big plot line that we've been following since book 1, and then you have all these many other plot lines. Also, this book follows a cult, and it was like this, so many plots and so many weird things were just thrown into this book. I just was not impressed with how it truly wrapped up. The ending was really fast. Like it was just like the ending never really happened. You had all of this stuff happening in the last 3 books, and then we're given this mediocre ending to the series where it was like, are you serious? Like nothing really ever happened. The characters kind of just moved on and they were like, well, it happened. So that's my thoughts on Bad Blood. It's not bad. It's just wasn't what I expected the ending to be for such a great series in my mind. Then obviously I read Kakuro Volume 4. I really never know how to rate manga series, but if you're looking for a cute, wholesome manga series that has a spiritual in for demons, then highly recommend it. I mean, I don't know really what to rate it. I guess I could give it a 4 star, but it was adorable in the end. And then I also picked up Spy Family Volume 10. If you are not interested in manga, or you aren't really knowing where to start with a manga series, highly recommend Spy Family. This is such a wonderful little bit of action-packed series. It is about a made-up family. So Twilight is a spy, so he has to pretty much build this fake family, and so he ends up finding this little girl that is in an orphanage, and her name is Anya, and she can read minds. And then you have the fake mother, Yor, who is an assassin. If you love found family, this is definitely for you. And then the next book that I read in the month of November is God Killer by Hannah Kaner. And this was another kind of disappointing read for me. I think I ended up giving this one a 3.75 or 4 stars. In this world, we're following Kisen, and she is a god killer. And so what god killers pretty much do is they go out and kill gods by the request of the king and or by villagers. And once upon a time, gods and humans were able to coexist with each other. However, gods were starting to become, especially new gods, were becoming more and more powerful. And so there was a war between humans and gods, and thus god killers came about. But Kisen specifically is a god killer that ends up coming across a young noble girl named Inara, and she has a god problem. Specifically, she is physically connected to a god. I thought the plot sounded absolutely amazing, and then I started reading it, and this is a very short book. I think it's only 200, yeah, it's only 280 some pages, and there's a lot forced into such a short amount of pages, where I feel like it should have been more pages. I feel like there's more to explain with the magic system. There's more to explain with the gods and kind of why these gods started to vie for more control and more power. I felt like there was a lot of lost potential in explaining the magic system and the world building. Then there's the characters themselves. I really did not connect with Kisen, Ilo, or Inara in any way, especially with Inara. Inara is a 12-year-old girl, and she reads as if she's 18 or 19. I also found the characters quite annoying and untrustworthy, and the decisions that they made just made absolutely no sense at all. There's a few things I did like also. I really enjoyed that there was diversity in this book. There was diversity in the representation in this book, and also our main character has a physical disability. Another character that we see a little bit of is mute, and so they do sign language. But in the end, the world building and the actual character development, not for me. Will I continue to the second book that's coming out? I think it's Sunbearer or Sunbearer. I don't know, because I just really wasn't as impressed with God Killer as I should have been. And then getting to the book that is the most hyped this month, was the biggest release of the month of November. Everyone loves it. Everyone's obsessed with it. Everyone talks about it. Is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. If you haven't checked out my Iron Flame reading vlog, definitely go check it out there. I give a lot more in-depth discussion on the book. So I ended up giving Iron Flame a 4-star rating. I did have it at 4.5, I think, or 4.75 in the vlog itself, but after stewing for a few days and thinking back on the things that I just really did not like, it became more and more of a problem for me, and I did end up lowering the rating to a 4-star. But to quickly talk about what I did enjoy, we did get a little bit more world building, which we didn't have in Fourth Wing. We did get a little bit more of the magic system, but once again, the magic system still isn't truly explained fully, and I feel like there were instances that could have been really fully explained with the magic system, because it's a super cool magic system when you think about it. Then we have the characters, and I did enjoy the character development. I like that our main character Violet has really come out of her shell. Also really enjoyed the character development and the character relationships in the squad. That found family aspect is beautiful, and I really enjoyed the rivalry between Violet and a character that's being introduced into this book. I still feel like the character development isn't there. I feel like between her and Xaden, I was done. I was done with the very naive thinking. I was done with the back and forth. This could have really been solved through communication. Then it's the word count. So this book is bigger than Crescent City, and I have absolutely no idea why, because there is so much in here that could have been cut out, because it truly does nothing for the plot. And if the author had removed it and put in more sustenance, world building, plot building, character development, I feel like we would have had a more solid second novel. And the ending was just like, okay, are you serious? Like, and then my biggest thing, guys, if it's anything else, it's this. It's the writing style. This book takes place in a fantasy world, which I understand, like, you don't need to bring in medieval Anglo-English. I don't need that. But I also don't need 21st century freaking TikTok slang. Literally one of the characters says, I ship them. I'm sorry, are we in the 21st century or are we in a like fantasy world? Yes, I do want to know what happens after the ending, but I don't know how she's going to extend this into 5 books. There's my rant on Iron Flame. And then I read What If by Mandel Monroe. This is a book that I had ended up getting from the library because I was just needing something scientific and very silly. If you ever want to know the answer to some really stupid, silly question and you want the science behind it, definitely read What If or sections of What If. For example, if you want to know what happens if everyone on Earth was taken, all 7 billion people were taken, put in one area and asked to jump, or if you want to know what would happen if you jumped out of a plane with only helium balloons and you needed to fill them up before you hit the ground, there you go. It was funny. Like, some of the questions that people ask, I'm very concerned. That's pretty much what it is. I ended up giving it a 3.75 star. And then the last book that I read in the month of November is Heaven's Official Blessing, also known as Tianguan Chi Fu. And this is volume 1. Before I read Heaven's Official Blessing, I did watch the Donghua, which is the animation. And so Heaven's Official Blessing is, how do I explain this? We all know that I suck at synopsises. This follows a prince who has ascended into the heavens and pretty much has become a god 3 times. The first 2 times he was kicked out because he did something very stupid. And the 3rd time he ascends, he needs to pay back his debt to all of these gods because of the fact that he ends up on his ascension destroying pretty much all of the heavenly palaces. And so he has to go into the mortal world and figure out how to pay back these debts. And along his way, he meets Song Long, who is a mysterious young gentleman, and he kind of has an idea of who he thinks he is. I did give this one a 3.75 stars just because of the fact that the first 100 and some pages were absolutely boring, as well as the fact that all these characters have like 3 different names. And so in one page, one person can be referred to all of their names. And also the writing style is something very interesting. So it is translated from Chinese to English, and some of it doesn't really have a direct translation, and so there were some lines that were very choppy and confusing. However, by the end of it, I was really enjoying it, and the last like 100 pages was fast-paced, it was perfect, it was wonderful, and I absolutely love Ji Lian and Sung Long. And there you have it, guys. There are the 7, technically -1 because one was a library book, but there are the 7 books that I read in the month of November. So in the comments below, definitely let me know the books that you read in November. Did you read any of these? What were your thoughts on Iron Flame if you did pick it up? I would love to know. Also, make sure to like this video and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!